Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. I wanted to chat up with you guys about the whole Call of Duty situation that's happened since Activision removed Nickmercs skin bundle from the game. A lot of people are coming together as a community. A lot of former influencers that were Call of Duty players, such as Tim the Tatman, Dr. Disrespect, and so forth. They're coming together as a community to boycott Activision and bring about some much needed changes in the positive direction in regards to Call of Duty. It's no secret Activision's kind of fallen by the wayside, especially with this newest edition of Call of Duty. And then when this new situation arises with Nickmercs and the tweet where he said leave kids alone in response to a school board meeting that was voting on whether to acknowledge Pride Month or not. That's a whole other can of worms that we've talked about. You all know how I personally feel when I feel that kids are being taught about transgender ideology in elementary school. I feel that it's a little too young for them. I feel that it's under the guise of we're here to help the kids when really a lot of it is indoctrinating them and kind of putting ideas into their head and messing with their brain waves a little bit. But I digress. I think this backlash that we're seeing with the Call of Duty community against Activision is a sign that I'm not alone in my thoughts on that. I feel that the community's really rallying behind Nickmercs, especially Tim the Tatman, who also requested that his bundle be removed because Nickmercs was unfairly removed and canceled by the corrupt Activision folks. All right, let's be honest. These guys turned the other cheek when they were feeling heat for harassment and other allegations. I feel this is really a sign of hope that things can change for the better. And you know what? We can all be a part of it. Now, real quick, I know there's going to be people, oh, you're just canceling, blah, blah. No, dude. Cancel culture and boycotting are two different things. Cancel culture comes in a little bit more aggressive. It comes in being intolerant and comes in a little bit of an echo chamber, going against people just to purposely ruin their lives. When you boycott something, usually it's because of a moral dilemma, a moral concern, a choice to actively and proactively choose to withhold supporting something because of something that, for the most part, lies on a bit of moral ground, okay? Like me saying, I'm going to cancel Bob because he is racist is different than me saying, I will no longer support Bob's company because it doesn't align with my values. There's a huge amount of difference with that. So I just wanted to kind of talk about the boycott, how it's been working. I feel that hitting Activision with this boycott is going to make things for the better. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, didn't you already give their money? Didn't you already give your money to Activision by owning the game? Okay, that's fair, but Activision relies on microtransactions. They rely on selling battle passes. They rely on an active online user base on their games. So the less people that are playing, the less people that have the game installed, they're going to eventually feel the wallet start to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So the first and easiest way to successfully boycott is by not buying the next Modern Warfare game or the next Call of Duty game, whatever it's going to be, Modern Warfare 3 or Call of Duty 2023 or whatever it's going to be. Step away from the game altogether. This is one of the most selling video games of all time every year, so I know it's probably going to be in the top 10 no matter what, top 5 no matter what. Maybe the not buying the game won't work or affect anything at all, but the less players, the less money for Activision, and it'll definitely get their attention, even if it doesn't put a chink in the armor. I feel that it would help force much needed changes, especially in light of this situation. Now, if you're like many players and you can't resist Call of Duty, like myself, it's really tough to be honest. You could still not buy microtransactions. Get the base game, but do not buy the microtransactions if you're already on it. I feel a lot of times these bundles are cringeworthy anyway. They push them really, really freaking hard. Just imagine if the amount of microtransactions bought went down. Especially if you were just playing Warzone, which is free to play. They're not making a dime off of you. I feel that they would take note, especially because they do push the microtransactions on that game really hard. Now, another thing is, if you're a fan of the older Call of Duty games, you can always just play those. You can always play an older Call of Duty game and give the new ones a hard pass. You know what I mean? You could play the ones from, the original Modern Warfare. You could play Black Ops. You could play anything in the past, because a lot of them actually weren't microtransaction heavy, and you're not going to be spending any extra dime. You're going to play games from yesteryear. Sure, maybe the online mode for some of these games might not be as active or even supported, but if you need to get your Call of Duty fix, you could do that. Or you could move on to Battlefield 2042. You could move on to Battlefront, Star Wars. You could move on to several other games out there. Halo, you name it. Fortnite, Apex Legends. There's a lot of games and a lot of alternatives out there if you want to show your support. I do think that it is amazing that right now this boycott that is going is working as well. It is, especially with larger influencers. Like the other day I said, it's nice to see bigger content creators stand up with Nickmercs, because usually when it comes to cancel culture, you see people kind of keeping to themselves because they don't want to get canceled too. They don't want to have to deal with backlash, especially with the woke mob. This woke mob is pretty fucking insane. Once they start canceling you, they're relentless. They don't stop. I think seeing the gaming community as a whole, especially with Call of Duty, jumping together and coming together for this, I think it's a really good sign. Even if you don't play Call of Duty at all, having each other's backs with this is something to be hopeful for. And I think seeing people like Dr. Disrespect uninstalling the game live is influencing people in the way that will hurt Call of Duty. I don't take pride in companies getting canceled. Let me go ahead and say that right out the gate. I don't take pride in that. I don't like, boycott this, cancel this, blah, blah, blah. At times, you're caught in a rock in a hard place, because, like for this situation, I personally liked Call of Duty, but I can't get behind people getting unfairly removed and canceled by a gaming company for expressing their freedom of speech and expressing concern for protecting children. I can't get behind a company that would delete somebody like that and show no open discourse. So for me, it's like, no, especially when it's catering to an agenda. It officially soured me. I think this unfair treatment, thanks to Activision, is going to bite them in the butt. And it remains to be seen just how bad. But it will be interesting to see if we can get some stats on uninstalls and how small the player base has gone in the last week or so. I do know that Nickmercs' Twitter account, his followers are blowing the fuck up. Like, he's getting hundreds of thousands of followers suddenly. Like, it's basically been rejuvenated. So I think they're going to realize that they messed with the wrong community when it comes to the power of some influencers. So yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts. Revenue. When revenue takes a major hit, maybe they'll listen to us. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I appreciate y'all.